Hey guys, Josiah here with Aesthetyx Fitness. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about cravings and indulging. Alright, now if you've ever been on a diet, if you've ever tried to cut down or lose weight, I'm sure you have experienced cravings, and that's basically where you just have a specific food or food group that you just want beyond anything else because you can't have it, because your body is really wanting whatever that specific combination of ingredients is. And in today's video, I'm not going to be talking to you specifically about how to crush cravings, but rather about how to work around them so that you don't have to have that craving feeling when you're dieting, and also touching briefly on the benefits that can be had from indulging and what that can do to help you stay on your diet rather than breaking and giving up on your diet as a whole. But before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click the little bell icon. That way every time I come out with a new video, you guys are getting notified and you're not missing out on any new awesome content. Also, if you feel like it really helps me out if you click that little like button down below the video. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. So when I'm on a diet, or actually anytime, whether I'm cutting or bulking, anytime I'm just tracking my macronutrients, if you follow my Instagram, you know that I love the occasional, I won't call it a cheat meal, I'll call it an indulging meal at Arby's. I will order like 3 or 4 sandwiches because I love everything they have there, and I'll get some fries and a shake and maybe a cookie, and I will just eat that all in one big colossal meal. That, if I were to be doing that in a day of my normal eating habits, would completely blow my macronutrient ratios and calorie limits completely away. However, the reason I don't consider it a cheat meal is because that's not what I do. What I do is, if I'm waking up in the morning going, you know what, a cheat meal at Arby's or a big pizza sounds really good today, all I do is I just plan my nutrition for the day around that cheat meal that I'm going to be having. So basically, if I know I'm going to be eating 80 grams of fat, 200 grams of carbs, and only like 50 grams of protein in one big meal throughout the day, I plug that into my macronutrient calculations at the beginning of the day, and then for the rest of the day, I just fill in exactly what I need in order to perfectly hit my macronutrient ratio. So I'll try to keep it to only like 10 or 15 grams of fat and 100 grams of carbs, and then eat like 140 grams of protein. And that way by the end of the day, even though I've had that big indulging meal, I'm still perfectly within the calorie limits that I've set for myself, and what's more than that, I've actually hit my macros for the day as well. That's part of the benefit of If It Fits Your Macros dieting, is that you can work your cravings and those things you want to indulge in, you can work those into your diet plan without having to feel like you're breaking the rules at all. And since you're still within your calorie limits and your macronutrient ratios for the day, you could theoretically do this and have as many cheat meals as often as you want. Now, I don't recommend doing that because it is going to kind of sabotage your progress just by eating a lot of probably pretty junky food and putting that in your system. I do try to eat a little cleaner as a whole in general, but again, if once or twice a week you're having a craving for something really specific, rather than letting it twist your macros and calories out of proportion, just work it into your diet and eat some extra chicken and protein shakes and some whatever you need to fill in the rest of the day, and limit yourself and elsewhere in the day so that you hit your overall calorie and nutrient requirements. So that's kind of my secret hack for being able to still indulge and enjoy a lot of different foods and a wide variety of foods while still getting leaner, while still putting on muscle, and not screwing up my diet restrictions as a whole. And that's, I think, something that a lot of people who are trying to lose weight, especially people who are very overweight, trying to lose weight for a long period of time, like 8-9 months, those people have a really hard time, because if you're trying to limit your food options and limit your calorie intake for that long, your body just kind of gets all thrown out of whack and you end up really craving specific foods. And then eventually when you have the chance to eat those foods and your willpower is depleted, you just binge, and then you convince yourself that you have you're done. And so you just keep doing it, and then you're right back to where you started and you've completely abandoned your diet. By working your cravings and the things you want to indulge in into your dietary restrictions, by doing that, then you don't have that problem, and you can give your body what it wants and what it's craving and reduce the amount of willpower you actually have to exercise to stay on your diet. But that's not the end of the video. There is one more thing I want to touch on, and that is the effect that actually screwing up and maybe completely overindulging one night has on your diet. Let's say you're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day and you are at 1,500 calories. You've told yourself you're just going to have a 500 calorie dinner and you're going to be done for the day. However, you're at a party, you have some alcohol, and someone brings out a pizza, and alcohol lowers your inhibitions, and it makes you hungrier, and so you've started eating a lot of pizza, and you eat a lot of calories, and suddenly you're at 3,500 calories of your daily intake. You ate 1,500 calories more than you planned, and you're now 1,500 over your daily calorie intake that you specified to be in a calorie deficit. Here's why it's not the end of the world, because chances are, if you're currently trying to lose weight, you've set your calorie limit at 500 to 700 below your daily maintenance level. So let's say that 700 of those calories that you just consumed, those 1,500 extra, you're not putting on any fat from doing that. You just hit maintenance level. So you didn't make any progress that day, but you just hit maintenance. So you're still 700 calories over. And that's, like I said, if you ate your last meal of the day is like a 2,000 calorie meal when you plan on it being a 500 calorie meal. That's a lot of calories. So if you happen to do that, then you're only 700 over. So you leave that party and you go home. Do you just crash into bed? No. You go for a walk, you go for a run. You burn an extra 200-300 calories. Okay, now you're only 400 over. 1 pound of body fat is roughly equivalent to 3,500 calories. So at that point, you have approximately less than 1/7 of 1 pound of body fat that you've actually gained. And chances are you're not going to convert that directly into body fat anyway, because your body is not going to process that with 100% efficiency. So really, you haven't done yourself any damage just by screwing up on one meal of one day of your diet. So if that ever happens to you, don't give up and think that you have to just go crazy the next week and get it out of your system. Just get right back on it the next day and it'll be like nothing ever happened. And that's really the problem, is that when people have a cheat day, or when they just screw up and decide to make that day a cheat day, then they kind of lose hope and proceed to continue cheating for like that week or that month, and then inevitably they're just off their diet and they're exactly back to where they started. The moment that needle starts moving back up on the scale and they notice they're feeling a little softer, they just lose all hope. And that's one last point I really want to make before I wrap up this video. I know it's getting a little long, but that is, if you have a really big, heavy, salty, fatty meal, and you look at yourself in the mirror afterwards and you're like, oh my gosh, my abs are gone. Oh, I feel puffy and my stomach's sticking out. You're bloated and you have extra water retention from eating that big meal. Your body does not convert that directly into body fat. Like if you look at yourself 15 minutes after you finish eating, no physiological changes happen to your body. You've just retained water and gotten bloated. Wait till the next morning before you freak out and think that you've completely undone all your progress on your diet. That's the last little tip I have for you guys today. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, to hit that like button down below. And of course, comment down below with your thoughts on dieting, indulging, and your favorite cravings. And subscribe to this channel because I have new content coming out all the time to help you guys train smarter and look better.